Hey, I've been thinking about Scientology a lot lately, and the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get. I mean, it's just so infuriating to think about this. There's so much wrong with the world, and people doing horrible things to other people and to the planet, but it's like, I mean, compared to those problems, Scientology seems so much like an unnecessary problem. Like, why? Why do it? Why do this to people when there's so much? I mean, and it's so much more devastating than a lot of the other stuff. I mean, these people, not only do they put their money into this cult, they put their heart, their soul, all their time, their whole being, all their dreams, all their life into this thing. So believing that they're doing something good, and if they put up with all the shit they get, and they take it all because they think they're doing the right thing, and then, like, when they find out how bad it is and they wake up, find out they wasted so much. They wasted everything they had on this. I can't imagine what that would feel like. I honestly don't believe I would be able to cope with something like that. And, you know, I'm young, I'm still growing up, right? And when you're young, you have this sort of naive faith in humanity that all of humanity has this sort of shared common sense to a degree. Like, unless they had some mental problem, that if they were completely healthy, they have this like a certain level of common sense. But it's like in everybody's life, they come across something that just shatters this faith. I mean, I remember when I first came on, like, and I tried, like, especially this, there's one Scientologist I talked with more privately. Uh, I tried explaining to them with the most common sense I could muster, like, showing them, like, what I thought were the most obvious clues as to how bad this cult is, and it's like, no, I mean, you think so much that if I just explain it to them, they'll I'll tell them. And, like, I should have known because, like, I had this friend, and she was starting to develop, like, behaviors like anorexia. Like, she was pretty skinny, and she'd stop eating, and she would never shut up about how fat she thought she was. And, of course, I'm a lot bigger than her, like, at least 2 times bigger. And I would just try to explain to her, I'm like, I'm fat, you're not. I tried using all the words I could, all the sense I had to explain to her, but when people are in this delusion state, it just doesn't go in. Scientology is like a mental disorder. It warps people's minds, it changes them. It's this horrible thing. It's almost like a disease. I mean, it because it changes people, changes the way they are. I mean, people take such abuse, believe it from other people in Scientology, believing that it's leading to better things. Put all their time, put all their money, go without so they can donate. It's just not fair. It makes me so mad. Just like seeing people that are like me, being like like acting so alien. I mean, like, I just gotta love what L. Ron Hubbard is like. I'm pretty sure he was a mad genius. The man was a genius, but or an evil genius. But you have to be pretty smart to make this huge layered cake of cultiness. I mean, all the steps you take to get more and more brainwashed, and then they tell you the Xenu story. It's like the ultimate test. It's like, if they believe this crap, we'll have brainwashed them enough. It's just amazing. I mean, and like, using all your Scientologist lingo, alienating you from the rest of the world. I mean, one of the Scientologists I've spoken to who was closer to my age would keep using these words that, for a Scientologist, meant something else than it does for the rest of the world, and these acronyms of yours, and it was like talking to someone who was speaking a different language half the time. It's like a barrier. He made a barrier so people can't relate with the outside world, and then soon they forget that there is one. They think that Scientology is the whole world, and they forget what it was like to be out, and then they start thinking that when they weren't in, that their life was horrible. I mean, maybe it was, but usually it's not as bad as they seem to think. And it just makes me so angry how Scientologists seem to think that if you're not a Scientologist, your life is nothing. How dare you say that? How dare you say that about people who've done so much in their lives? Like, I can't think of them right now because I'm so angry. And some of the more famous ones, like Albert Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr. Are you to say that that their lives meant nothing? How dare you say that? I mean, it's so maddening. How dare you? And when I speak to Scientologists, I feel like I'm being invalidated. Like, me is a product of a mistake or past lives, or I feel like that I'm not that that I don't know how to describe it. I felt like me was being taken away and judged as completely nothing. And they don't seem to think there's a problem with judging people like that. And it's just, oh, I could go on forever. And ever about this. It's just so crazy. I mean, okay, my time's running out. So I'll say to any Scientologists that may be watching, there are a few things that you should definitely be skeptical about. One guy being in charge of everything, L. Ron Hubbard, like the source of salvation coming from one guy, that's a big red light. Then that being the only way to salvation, that can be a little iffy. I mean, other religions say that, but you have to be a little careful when they say that. And the biggest thing, the money. And they sell it like a product. What religion has commercials like you see Scientology commercials? It's sickening to think that they think if it's religion. You don't sell a religion like that. If you want to save people, give it away for free. I mean, just give it away for free. I'm pretty sure your multi-million-dollar cult has enough money to do that by now. Well, you do need the money so Tony Davis can drive around in his fancy car. Well, I'm running out of time, so I'll go for now. Good night, everybody. Have a nice weekend.